Well, while the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively heats up, the gossiper,
in an amended complaint to the New York court,
girl actress has begun to share the toll it's having on her personal life.
Working under an editor, she said the most difficult person that she has ever worked with and the rudest person that she had ever worked with was Blake Lively.
Lively's complaint accuses Baldoni, who is also the film's director, of creating a hostile work environment and trying to ruin her reputation after she expressed her concern.
The retaliation campaign relied on more than just publicists and crisis managers spinning stories. They also retain subcontractors.
Defendant Blake Lively has unequivocally left them with no choice.
In the high-stakes world of Hollywood, where fame is a currency and public perception can make or break careers, the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has rapidly escalated into a captivating and often dramatic spectacle. The unfolding legal proceedings, marked by a series of intense accusations and counterclaims, strategic courtroom maneuvers, and the constant release of information to the media, have gripped the attention of industry insiders, fans, and the general public alike. The case, at its heart, involves more than just allegations of inappropriate behavior and contractual disagreements. It has become a lens through which the complexities of celebrity culture, the dynamics of the legal system, and the often unforgiving nature of the entertainment business are being examined. The future of the careers and reputations of those involved hangs in the balance. Before we delve into the details, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your thoughts and opinions, so please feel free to share them in the comments section below.
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
The legal conflict, which has dominated headlines and social media, was initiated by Blake Lively, a celebrated actress known for her talent and charisma, who filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and others. The lawsuit alleged that Baldoni had engaged in actions on set that created a hostile work environment and that this behavior caused significant emotional distress and professional harm. The lawsuit further claimed that Baldoni's actions had damaged Lively's reputation and that she had suffered a loss as a result of this behavior. In an effort to seek redress for these alleged harms, Lively sought substantial financial compensation, with the total amount of damages sought, according to various reports, reaching a staggering $250 million. This legal action, the filing of the lawsuit, set the stage for a high-profile and potentially career-altering confrontation between two individuals who, prior to this point, had been working in the same industry and had crossed paths in a professional setting.
A lot of it's my real-life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some...
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which one? Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
The legal proceedings, which have captivated both the legal community and the general public, took a dramatic turn when Baldoni responded to Lively's accusations by filing a counterclaim. The counterclaim, seeking damages of $400 million, alleged that Baldoni had been the victim of extortion and defamation. In effect, the counterclaim sought to reverse the roles. The financial sums involved, a combined $650 million, are staggering by any measure, causing widespread discussion, speculation, and a sense of heightened drama. From the outset, the video emphasizes that neither side has appeared willing to concede any ground, any advantage. Both parties, it is clear, are determined to defend their reputations, to protect their livelihoods, and to present their versions of the truth. The first and perhaps most significant event in this high-profile legal proceeding was the initial court hearing, a session that, according to reports, lasted for approximately 90 minutes. Despite the relatively brief duration of the hearing, the presiding judge was able to make a series of key decisions. These decisions, which have been widely discussed in the media, set the framework or the parameters for how the legal fight would proceed and would undoubtedly shape the course of the entire legal battle. one of the first and most critical issues considered during the hearing, and one that has generated a great deal of media coverage, was the question of how the attorneys for both sides would be permitted to engage with the media and present their respective arguments to the public. The level of public communication, it was clear, was going to play an important role in the strategy of both sides, and it was likely to influence the court of public opinion.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's, I got snot coming out of my nose.
Lively's legal team, seeking to control the narrative and to limit the potential for damage to their client's reputation, made a request to the judge asking that a gag order be imposed. The gag order, if granted, would have restricted Brian Friedman, Baldoni's attorney, from communicating publicly about the case, including limiting his ability to conduct press interviews and to share evidence and documentation in a public-facing manner. The goal, of course, was to control the flow of information. The strategy from Lively's team appeared to be to control the messaging. The judge, however, declined to grant the gag order, which meant that Friedman was not prevented from speaking publicly about the case. This ruling, the denial of the gag order, set the stage for the public to continue to receive updates on the case. The judge had to make decisions, and the next decision also involved the legal team for Lively. They had requested, among other things, that Friedman be excluded from the process of deposing Blake Lively. The deposition process is a crucial component of any legal case. It allows the lawyers to ask questions under oath and to collect sworn testimony. The deposition, which is a formal process, can be very difficult and grueling. The judge declined to impose this limitation. In other words, the judge decided that Friedman would be permitted to depose Lively. This ruling meant that Friedman would have the opportunity to question Lively directly, and the decision also had implications for the future. Friedman, as the video has noted, has been active in the media and appears to be willing to present his client's side. Friedman has, in a number of instances, released documentation to the public. The intention of these actions has been to ensure that the public will be able to see Baldoni's point of view. Now let us pause for a moment. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and also hit that like button. Your support means a great deal to us. We would appreciate it if you left any comments that you may have in the comments section below. The legal process is continuing. The impact of the legal battle is being felt throughout Hollywood. One of the significant developments related to the lawsuit involved the possibility of bringing other actors and other members of the production into the case. It was at this point that a key witness came into focus. Jenny Slate, an actress and comedian, had been cast in the same project as both Lively and Baldoni. Slate, a friend of Lively's, at one point publicly expressed support for Lively. She had described Lively as a loyal friend. However, when it came to the point of formal involvement in the legal proceedings, Slate reportedly chose to keep her distance. This created a problem. Bringing additional actors into the case would show support. It would also give more voices and more opinions to the situation. Whether Slate's testimony would be effective remained unclear.
Well, I actually knew of the film before I knew of Colleen's book, which is, I know, a unique entry point, but I think because I just have 1,000 children, I, have missed all of pop culture, and her significant impact in the world of books. I mean, so many of her books are on the New York Times bestseller. I mean, it's crazy.
As the legal wrangling continued, and as both sides pursued their strategies in the courtroom and in the court of public opinion, another dramatic turn developed. The issue involved the possibility of limiting Friedman's communications with the media. The goal of the request was to curb Friedman's ability to share details of the case in press statements or in interviews. The court weighed this request, recognizing that media coverage could influence public opinion. Ultimately, the judge decided not to grant a broad limitation on Friedman. In other words, Lively's side did not secure an order that prevented the opposing attorney from speaking publicly about the matter. The judge did, however, caution that an escalation of media sparring might result in a faster trial timeline. the judge said that a faster trial date might be set. In the midst of all the legal maneuvers and court decisions, Baldoni's legal team took their own approach. They embarked on a campaign, a public outreach campaign, by creating a website. The purpose of the website was to share their perspective and present their evidence to the public. The site went live, and it provided a timeline of the events that had unfolded, as well as a large number of documents. Some of the documents included text messages, receipts, and various other pieces of documentation. The aim of this step was to provide the public with unfiltered access to Baldoni's evidence. The lawyers wanted the public to have the whole story, or at least a complete picture of what had happened. Lively's legal team, upon the launch of Baldoni's website, immediately took action. They made a request to the court, asking that the website be taken down. They argued that it was harmful to their case. The court did not agree. The logic, according to the video, appeared to be that both parties had already gone public with their versions of the events. The fact that both sides had, by their actions, chosen to engage with the public meant that there was no clear reason to silence one side while allowing the other to speak freely. The stakes of losing the legal battle are undeniably significant for Lively. Some news sources have reported that the damages involved could total around $400 million. The final amount, which would be paid if Lively loses, could be very substantial. The cost could be devastating for her finances. Beyond the potential financial liability, the legal battle had the potential to impact Lively's future endeavors. This is where the reputational element looms large.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, think of the ladies I can like, this is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. Oh. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like,
Tell me, and he's
think
guessing.
of someone, think of someone. Bob Newhart, I don't know.
In the public eye, Lively was once seen as having an impeccable image. The legal battle has changed this perception. Some people may now question her motivations. Some may be less likely to support her. The legal proceedings have placed a strain on both sides. The costs, both financial and emotional, of participating in a legal battle can be significant. The legal system sometimes has a way of encouraging settlements when both sides realize that a drawn-out trial could yield unpredictable results. Settlement talks could either intensify or break down. The judge's warning about expedited proceedings if the media sparring continues. This is just another sign of how much pressure there is on the parties involved.
I internalized that as opportunity. We had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Yes.
As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much rather have that than people who are indifferent.
Blasé.
At this point, speculation regarding the ultimate outcome of the lawsuit has intensified. Some commentators believe that Lively's team may attempt to negotiate a settlement. There are various incentives to resolve the matter outside of court. In the meantime, the public conversation continues to swirl. Supporters of Lively emphasize her history of being a positive force, as well as her philanthropic work. Those who support Baldoni point to his record in the entertainment industry. They are questioning whether or not the allegations against him have been substantiated. The arguments are ongoing. The release of information has shown how complicated the situation is. The truth may remain elusive. The first and most important is that Lively's team must produce an amended complaint that addresses both the original grounds for dismissal. They must address new challenges. The second is that Baldoni's side will continue to leverage public platforms to present as many documents as possible. The third is that the court's patience for further delays or shifting stories appears limited. This could lead to a swift resolution. With all these moving parts, the question on everyone's mind is whether Lively's team can find a path. What strategies will work? Will they be able to strengthen their position before trial? The answer is not known. This legal dispute has demonstrated that the power of public relations and how an individual handles a crisis can greatly impact the perception of any situation. It demonstrates that the entertainment industry can be unforgiving,